Okay, I'm going to be trying something a bit different today. Some abstract sketching with a couple of ink pens. This is a brush pen. This is just a fountain pen. They both have water-soluble ink. And the interesting thing about that is when you add water, or the watercolors does run a little bit, but part of it still stays in the paper. So let's have a bit of fun and have a go with this little scene. We're going to just take it easy. Very, very basic. The roof of this building like that. There's a triangle on this side. I'm really not fussed on how accurate this thing is, really. We just want to get in a few little marks and things, especially where the windows are here. You know, I'm going to make up some bits and pieces as well. But mainly I just want to try using this pen, add a bit of water later and we'll see what happens. So look at that, just sketching this door and window. And this is a great little exercise to sort of play around with if you're just getting into watercolors or you're just getting into drawing essentially. There's no pressure at all. We just want to get in a little bit of detail and that's it. So that can be a house. I mean, there can be one behind here as well, kind of dipping back there, doing something else. We've got a section here, perhaps, a little doorway there. There we go, a couple of windows, just like this. Over there we can have another house here in the background. And notice how I'm really not going over any sections. Once I draw it in, that's it. We just let it go. There's even a little house here. I didn't even realize that before, but there is one over there. So just cutting in front, I'm just going to put in a small little door, a little roof like that. These houses are kind of just overlapping with each other like that. There's even in the background, there's all these trees and bits of abstract stuff out here, which I'll just sketch in real quick. It's a church, I think, over on this side. Looks like a church anyway. And I'm going to come down, a little bit of a sketch like that, a bit of a quick mark there. I think with the fountain pen as well, the marks just have a bit more character compared to, say, a normal nibbed pen, which just has a fixed nib. That way, basically the lines here, they definitely a bit more varied. So you can turn the pen sort of on these angles as well and get slightly thinner lines. It's almost, you don't get perfect, sharp, crisp lines everywhere, but you know, the positive of that as well is that they just have so much character, the lines here. So paper that I'm using is 100% cotton paper, but it's not sized. It's mainly for drawing on. So I've used this before to do a few little sketches and it does work, but it doesn't have the vibrancy of usual watercolor paper, so we can't really expect that. There we go, I think there's a kind of pole here, just a pole, and I'm going to put it coming down like this there, something simple, dropping down like that, maybe a shadow coming across the ground as well. There is a bush here, by the way. It is sort of hidden away in that bush, and why not, let's add some figures. Hey, we're missing some figures here, so we'll have someone kind of maybe walking towards the camera and walking towards us on the camera. Some arms here by the side, maybe just put a bit of detail on for the face. It's hard to sort of see. We can get another person maybe walking in from this side here, like that, and there as well. Let's see how that goes. Oops, this one looks a little bit funny. Maybe the arms coming out here, running across, okay? But apart from that, it's looking pretty good. There are some mountain ranges and things over here in the background. I think this is a town in either Italy or Germany, I can't remember. So there's bits and pieces here at the back, but apart from that, I think we're mostly done. So I'm going to go and just draw an outline, a nice sharp outline, border, so watercolors to sort of stop where I want it to stop, and you can see if you press too hard on this paper as well, it sort of digs in actually. And you know, this little brush pen is quite interesting actually. There's I don't think there's enough ink in here to do all that much, but it is, you do get a lot of this dry brush sort of effect on the paper. If you notice, just quite, you know, bits where it skips essentially over. So I think I'll, you know, have a bit of a play around. That can be a shadow. You know, there could be a shadow coming through here, like that. You know, this little house here on the side, there could be a shadow running over there. You know, bits and pieces that we can indicate here. I do want some of these rooftops to be quite bright, so I don't want to go in there too much, but you know, I'm just having a bit of a play around, just using the edge of the brush pen, and I can get in these little marks like that. Now, I'm using some opaque sort of watercolors. They're a cheaper set, but the reason why I'm using these is because they're opaque. So I'm hoping, because this paper isn't really sized properly, that it will just add a little bit more oomph to it. So there we go, just a bit of that yellow. Drop that straight in, like that. Just trying to pick up a bit more color from this little palette here. A bit more here. Let's drop in just warm colors. There we go, a bit of warmth up the top like that. I do want to make it quite quick in this area. There's a bit of green maybe for the roof, or add in some, just a darker color rooftops, but for the rest of the houses and things, I just want to get in a light pale wash in there, just like that, just a light sort of yellowy pale wash running through. You know, there's a bit of grey or something, I don't know what that is, a little bit of grey, maybe in the top of the roof here as well, like that, just a bit of grey. And you can notice already that the ink is starting to run, so I've been trying not to touch that all too much actually, just in case. There we go, just on the ground. I'm going to start mixing up some yellow, drop that in there, and also some of this green. Maybe if I can pick up even a lighter green like that, that would be nice. Just let these mix and blend on the paper like that. And yeah, coming across more of that, more here, just greens, really light greens as well. I'm not really fussed about the color exactly, but just the tone is more important, and I want to do this real quick. I can pick up a larger brush actually, it'd be better, this large mop brush. There we go, that's what I'm looking for, something like that. You know, a bit darkness running through there. I'm going to cut around that figure. There we go, just a bit of green. And if it gets a bit, you know, if you want it to be lighter, just drop in some yellow in there as well. Just like that. I'm cutting around these figures as well. I want to get in some colours and maybe some contrast with them a bit later. So stuff in the background, I'm really going to just darken up. And I'm trying to get this all done in one wash as well. I really don't want to go back in there again if I don't need to. This is just some blue. I don't know what kind of blue this is, but blue and purple. Okay, just to darken up that back area as much as I can. Actually cutting around that building like that. There we go. Just cutting around that building, and there's actually a light here as well. Might just leave some of that like that. There we go, a bit of this rooftop of the church coming down here. It's kind of a greenish blue here in this area of the mountains. Leave the top of this roof as well, like that. There we go, just a bit of colour running through there. Let's lay out a little bit of red as well. Okay, but mainly the blue, that sort of nice blue colour for the mountains there. Bit of green. It's really funny, this paint is just so opaque, and normally it's hard, I couldn't use this on normal watercolor paper, but it actually looks pretty interesting on this paper here. So, you know, just a bit of this, and now in the sky, why not, let's put in a bit of blue, a little bit of cerulean blue, just a light wash. I can't really get a super vibrant blue in here, unfortunately, but just a light wash of blue should do the trick like this. Here we go. And cut around the shapes of the trees and things like that. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Just add a bit more of that blue in there. Get a bit more vibrancy in there. But again, it's going to dry off a bit funny, so there's not all that much we can do. Bit of colour for these figures. I might go with some red because we've got all this green around here. So why not put in some red? Bit of a complementary. And then this colour here, we could get in maybe a purplish colour for this figure, like that. There we go. Look, there's something there, that's for sure. It looks like something. You've got these little doors and things of this building. Maybe we can put in some shadows being cast, just some quick, spontaneous little shadows like this, on top of the roof, like that. One here. Bit of colour on the ground for the shadows, like that. We join that on with the legs. Oop.
If you like this video, check out the playlist on the right. I release new tutorials and art supply reviews each week to help you progress faster in your watercolour journey.